everyone, it's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft, and today's process video, it's the end of the month, so I'm going to be using up a lot of the scrap papers that I've been using throughout the month in my other process videos. So I picked these 3 photos, sunset on the beach in Montauk, and I picked this from my Paper Issues warehouse box, maybe to do something with 2 photos here and then the other photo down here. I pulled a couple of embellishments that were from the Paper Issues warehouse box, or just other things that were in my stash, just things that I thought might fit well with the color scheme and the whole beach theme. And then these are all the paper scraps that that I saved, and I'm going to somehow piece them together to create a full 12 by 12 layout. So what I probably will end up doing is probably Frankensteining some of these together so that I can get a nice solid 12 by 12 piece. So I'll probably grab some washi tape and like maybe stick something like this together with maybe, I don't know, that could be in the middle. I kind of like that. That seems like a thing Chamel would do, right? So I like those together. And then I don't know if there's anything else here that I might use. And whatever I don't use on this layout, I will obviously still save. But I'm just kind of like, you know, taking a peek at all these scraps. I could use some of this for like matting photos or whatever. And then I also pulled this because it does have some sticker pieces that I could probably throw on there as embellishments as well. So that's kind of what I'm working with. These are all the pieces. I just put them in a big bag. I have the bag right here. And so anything I don't use, I'll just put back in this bag, and I'll label it as this is kind of like July, August leftovers. So we'll see what I can create, and I'll save the rest for something else. So let's get into it.
Okay, so here we go into the voiceover part of this process video. So you saw the pieces of paper that I chose. These are all scrap bits of paper that I'd already cut into and I just set aside for later use. I am using a Creative Memories, I guess it's like a cutting mat. I use it with the Creative Memories photo cutting, or not photo cutting, circle cutting system. I'm not sure what it's made out of, but it's got measurements on it. So I'm using those measurements to help me place these papers down. So I make sure that I'm measuring it out as 12 by 12, because obviously these are scraps. So I need to stick them together with washi tape so that I end up having a full 12 by 12 piece of paper. So I've got those 2 down, and then I'm just going to put the pink piece kind of in the center as a way to cover up that overlap. So, you know, you don't know if you're not watching this video and you just happen to go through my scrapbook album and you're like, oh, was this one page? And then you just added the pink. Like, you don't know that these are 3 separate pieces of paper. Ooh, magic. Now, I will say I don't understand why some pieces of 12 by 12 paper are bigger than others. Shouldn't it all just be the same size, guys, right? So I had to cut off a little bit because the edges were not even. The edges at one end were not even. So whatever. But now I'm ready to put down all my photos and the embellishments and things like that. Before I talk more about that, I will say that if you are a returning subscriber to the channel, almost said challenge, welcome back, and thanks so much for being a subscriber. And if you are new to the channel, you haven't subscribed yet, but you've watched a couple videos, definitely please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on other process videos, and give this video a thumbs up like to let me know you enjoyed watching it, and leave me a comment down below and tell me what you guys do with your scrap paper. Do you set it aside in a drawer? Do you put it in a bag? Do you try to make other kits out of it? I would love to know some of your tips for using up your scraps. So I just with scissors. I didn't do any measuring. I just roughly cut those photos down so that they they can fit behind that Simple Stories chipboard frame. I think the sizing is like 3 by 4, but if you want your photo to actually stick to the chipboard, you got to make it a little bit bigger on all sides. And with the chipboard, I use glue dots to stick things down because I find that the double-sided adhesive squares are just not sticky enough for my taste. With the chipboard, chipboard's a little bit hard because it's super sturdy and it really needs something a little bit more heavy duty. So I use glue dots with that. And that seems to work fine. You could also pop that up on foam dots because it already, it's so thick it gets a little bit more dimension as well. So foam dots would work great with that too. I decided not to do that this time around. I'm just going to stick with my trusty glue dots. I'm matting the 4x6 photo with some other paper that's from the scrap stash, and I chose that particular piece. It looks very busy, but it does have some of the same colors in the background papers, so that's why I liked that one. And because I cut off the branding strips of everything, I don't know the manufacturer's names, so I apologize for that. Actually, I could tell you that the thing I just used to mat that photo with is Pink Paisley by Paige Evans. Turn the page, number 6. I happen to have that branding strip still kind of sitting out in front of me. And I want to say I'm reaching for something else that I used for that might have been Heidi Swap Magnolia Jane. It might have been, I think the pink was that, but the rest of it, I have no idea. So I apologize for that. I know I said a couple of weeks ago that I was going to try to be better about telling you the manufacturer's names and from the products that I'm using. And well, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So anyway, now I have placed my embellishments and I'm trying to keep things in like clusters of 3. So I consider the butterfly on the chipboard frame to be an embellishment. So I'm only going to put 2 pieces up there in that corner. And I've got some in the bottom of the chipboard frame. I'm going to put my journaling spot there as well. And then I've got some over on the top right of the 4x6 photo, and then something kind of on the bottom, kind of going in a zigzag diagonal. I like working in diagonals. I like the rule of 3s when it comes to embellishments. You don't have to go crazy. You can keep things pretty simple. And especially when you've got a lot of photos on the page, you don't really need to do a lot of embellishment layering unless you want to, because honestly, there's no right way to do it. I know a lot of people are like, there are style rules. And it's like, well, but isn't art all objective anyway? Art is in the eye of the beholder. So if you want to put something on your layout, if you're like, oh, I have 3 embellishments, I should stop here, but you really, really want to put 2 more, just do it. Just layer up those 2 other embellishments, okay? Because nobody's going to look through your scrapbook album. At least I hope they wouldn't. But nobody's going to look through your album and be like, oh, you used 5 embellishments instead of 3. Because then if they do, then you can be like, okay, bye, see ya, and never invite them over again. Honestly, people are just going to be like, wow, I can't believe you made this layout and it looks amazing. And I love everything that you added to it, right? So it's just do what you want, okay? It's art. It's your expression. It's what you think looks good. And ultimately, you're just trying to please yourself and not everybody else. All right, so here's the part that didn't please me. I didn't like having the chipboard frames over so far to the left because it didn't leave a whole lot of room for that journaling spot. And I didn't want the journaling spot to be bumping up against the edge of the paper. So I very carefully, since I had already stuck it down with glue dots, I very carefully lifted that up. And it worked. I didn't tear any of the papers, so go me. And then I just moved it over a little bit to the right. Then I had to move those chipboard pieces over a little bit, which again, worked. I got really lucky with this because usually I'm tearing papers and it's like a whole disaster. And then I have to add more than 3 embellishments to cover up holes and stuff. So anyway, there's the place where I'm going to put the journaling. I did the journaling off camera because I needed to just double check the name of this place that we were at. It was called Ditch Plains Beach, and it's in Montauk. It's like a small neighborhood beach. I think technically you have to live in the neighborhood to park there. But it was after hours, and we were there for sunset, so we didn't get a ticket, and they didn't tow our car away, so I think we were okay. But it was a pretty cool beach, a lot of families hanging out there, very windy, but a beautiful sunset. I thought about doing some splatters, but instead I grabbed my scrapbook.com Pops of Color in, I think it's called Champagne. Glitter Champagne. And I'm just doing a few extra drops, kind of like where I would put enamel dots, just doing a few extra drops in the corners of these embellishment clusters, just to give it some extra color and shine. And then that's pretty much it here. You're going to see the close-ups with a little bit more detail and fun stuff going on. And I hope that this video was inspiring for you, and that once again, as I said before, you consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on other process videos and inspiration. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!